Good morning. It's time for another journal with me this morning. It's a beautiful day. It's kind of the end of fall, and we are going to be using the Affirmators deck again today. So, if you haven't met me, I'm Julianne with Like That in Design, and let's see what today's card pool is. So, it's is that a Minotaur? Senator with high heels on. And the card word is compassion. So, what does it say? I choose compassion over criticism. Walking a mile in other people's shoes reminds me that they might be going through something tougher than I think. Like their shoes are too tight, or the kind of shoes that are too dressy to be too casual to be dressy, or too dressy to be casual. Basically, I have no idea what they're dealing with privately, so I'll cut them some slack and be thankful for the shoes I've been dealt. So that would be why he's wearing these red high heels. So, compassion. I think that's a great card. At least for me personally, because I do find I tend to see people through my own lens instead of seeing them through what could possibly be going on in their life. So oftentimes I'll be judging people based on what my perception of the world is. Does that make sense? So, I haven't walked in their shoes, but I do this a lot with my mom. I look at some of the things she's doing. I'm like, I would never do that. But I haven't been through her life. I don't know what, the things that shaped her are not the same things that shaped me. So this is a great card. Again, it's I choose compassion over criticism. I think that's the main message here. You don't know what somebody else is going through, so why not be compassionate? So let's journal on that. So how are you going to choose compassion over criticism, or how do you find yourself constantly judging people without really knowing what's going on in their lives? I think that's a great topic for today. So let's get in and start journaling. So, how did your session go? Mine was pretty interesting, and I thought I would share it in hopes that maybe it'll help you. Um, it was weird. It's like, what is compassion really? Like, what does that really look like? What does that really feel like? And so I started journaling again about my mom and my relationship with her, and we have a good relationship, but I see her getting older, and I see her slowing down, and that makes me angry. Like, I'm so into fitness, and I'm like, why isn't she strength training? Why isn't she just doing something? Why isn't she walking the block? And I always have this judgment as I watch her slow down, and I watch the things that she can no longer do, and she admits it, she's aware of it. And so I was thinking, in this terms of compassion, walking in someone else's shoes, like, I can't understand her, what she grew up with. Like, they didn't have gyms. Like, that wasn't a concept for her. Even when I was a kid, there was no such thing as a gym. So she doesn't have that same mindset that, strength is so important. Like, she didn't grow up understanding that you have to always be always doing strength training, and you lose that muscle mass, was it a pound of muscle every year after 40, I think, or something like that, or 50. But it's just like, she's not aware of that, and it's not in her radar, and it's not even in her wheelhouse to strength train. So I thought about this a lot, and how much I judge her, and how much I get angry with her, because I'm like, she's not taking care of herself. And that's my baggage. She's not sitting there saying I'm not taking care of myself. She probably thinks she is, and in her version, in her world. And so I wrote a lot about, that this is my baggage. When I look at her, I'm seeing things through my view of what I'm judging her, I guess, on her inability, in my mind, in her inability to take care of herself. But maybe she doesn't have those same things. Like, I have a big fear of aging. Like, I don't want to get old. And maybe she doesn't have that fear. Maybe she's completely okay with it. Maybe in her world, this is just a natural progression, and she accepts it, and she thinks that this is how it should be. And who am I to say that it's not? So I thought that was really interesting. And then, at the end of it, I journaled a lot. At the end, I was like, you know what? I can let this go now. Like, that's, this is, if you're watching this close to the time that I recorded it, we're about to move into fall, and the theme for fall is letting go. Clearing the decks, kind of, letting go of some habits, letting go of responsibilities, things that just no longer serve you. And this is something that just doesn't serve me. Like, I always kind of color our interactions with watching her for how much she can't do, and judging, like, oh, she can't do this anymore. Oh, she can't do that. I have to do this for her. Like, I can let that go now. Like, what a cool, that was kind of like my end of my journal. Was like, wow, I could just release this. Like, it's my baggage. It's not hers. And I don't want to carry it around anymore. And I don't want every interaction with her to be me judging her. So why am I doing that? So why not just let that go? That's really kind of cool. So that's my big insight. I don't know where your journaling went. Please share in the comments if, I'm sure your journaling went in a totally different direction than mine. But that's what I kind of got out of today's card, that for me, maybe compassion is just not judging our relationship anymore. Just kind of being like, she's doing what she wants to do. She's doing life her way, on her terms. And I can agree to disagree. Those aren't my terms, but hey, I don't need every interaction to be about me judging her, so I can let that go, and that feels really, really good. So again, share what came up for you. I'd love to hear it. And if you really like the idea of letting go, that's what Plan Jam is all about. That Plan Jam is coming up in a few days. But if you're missing this and you're watching this later, there's always a Plan Jam. I have 5 a year, and there's always about a different season. So hit the link below. You can see what I'm working on next, and every season I have a really cool theme that we pursue. So I hope to see you in Plan Jam. Otherwise, take care. And again, I'll put the Affirmators link down below, because this is just such a cool deck. So that's it for today. Take care.